In this video, there are two health warnings coming up, and I will highly suggest you pay attention to both, in particular, the second one. Hello, Dr. Joe here. So, it's that time of the year. It's cold season. The cold is back on, which means it's the time of the year where I have to do one or two videos regarding vitamin D. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, it is food sources of vitamin D. That is the subject of today's video. Now, this video comes with a health warning, and that is that you must not rely on food as your main source of vitamin D. Yes, you shouldn't do that. The reason for that is the amount of vitamin D that you're going to get from food sources is not enough to satisfy your daily vitamin D requirements, okay? It's not enough. That's why you mustn't rely on food as your main source of vitamin D. Now, as you know, vitamin D is actually a sunshine vitamin. But at this time of the year, the sun disappears into the horizon and we're left with nothing, just gray skies. And this is the time of the year where your main source of vitamin D should be from supplements, okay? From supplements. Now, that said, it doesn't hurt to consume foods that have got some vitamin D in them, okay? So, now, for those of you who complete this very video, I've got a special food, okay? A special food that I'm going to be sharing with you that has got good amounts of vitamin D. That's coming up as a bonus for those of you who complete watching the entire video. It's not a long video anyway. Anyway, so let's kick off. What are the food sources of vitamin D? Well, the first one is salmon, okay? Salmon. Next will be mackerel. Mackerel. Next will be anchovies, okay? Anchovies. And next will be sardines. I've just had some now, okay? So I got some vitamin D from my sardines now. What else? Well, herring, okay? Herring is another. And what else? Trout. Trout is another. What next? Well, tuna is another source of vitamin D. So those are your main fish sources of vitamin D. Is that all? No, that's not all. There's some more sources of vitamin D. Let's move on to them. So, next will be beef. Beef is another. What next? Well, eggs will be another, okay? But in eggs, the vitamin D is in the yolk. So, if you're going to eat the egg, well, of course, you got to eat the yolk because that's where the vitamin D is stored. What next? Liver, okay? Liver is another. What next? Well, cheese is another source of vitamin D. If that's your thing, go for cheese. What next? Well, how about chicken, turkey? They've also got some vitamin D. What next? Well, let's move on to the fortified foods because they've got some vitamin D. And in this, I'll be referring to fat spreads, okay? The fat spreads, they're fortified with vitamin D. What next? Well, the plant-based milk, okay? The plant-based milk, they've all got vitamin D in them as well. Well, not all of them. You got to read the pack. So I'm referring to milk like oat milk, soy milk, almond milk, cashew nut milk, rice milk. So just read the pack to see if that very milk has got vitamin D in it. If it is fortified with vitamin D, it should say so. Right, what next? Well, the cereals are another, okay? The cereals, fortified cereals. You just read the pack. They're not recommended, mainly because they are highly processed. But if you want to eat them, well, of course, you're going to get some vitamin D from there as well. What next? Well, how about, milk in itself, okay? Cow's milk got some vitamin D as well. So those are your main sources. Now, let's move on to the bonus food, okay? The bonus food. And that is mushrooms, okay? Mushrooms. They've got vitamin D. Now, here's something you should know. You can take this to another level. there are some mushrooms that are ultraviolet radiated. These mushrooms have got lots of vitamin D, and they come in a powder form. So if you can get your hands on the ultraviolet radiated mushroom powder, go for it, okay? Because you're going to get lots of vitamin D from them. Okay, so at this juncture, I think it will make sense for me to give you the second health warning. And that is to say, when I recorded this very video, I did not apply any nutritional filters. I did not apply any nutritional bias. That is to say, the food sources of vitamin D that I gave you here is as they come. I also do know that a lot of you are dealing with chronic conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol issues. And some of you also have autoimmune diseases. What that means is some of the foods on this very list, they're not really recommended for folks like you dealing with those chronic conditions. So what should you do in this very instance? Well, we have to apply the nutritional filters. That is to say, you have to become highly selective of the foods that you choose from this very list. So what should you choose? Well, the fish that I talked about, all the fish that I mentioned, they're okay. What else? Well, the plant-based milk are also okay. What else? Well, the mushrooms, as well as the ultraviolet radiated mushrooms, they're also okay for you to consume, okay? Now, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that during these cold months, you mustn't rely on these food sources for your vitamin D supply, as I mentioned earlier in the video. You really have to pay attention to your vitamin D supplement usage. That should be your main source of vitamin D during these cold months. So, I think that's about it for the foods that have got vitamin D in them. Let me know which of these foods you consume often, which of them you like. Go ahead, let me know in the comment section. Now, if you got some value from this very video, please give the video a thumbs up. Please like the video, and also please share this video with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues. And if you got any questions, any comments regarding the content of this video presentation, go ahead, leave your comments or questions down below. I think that's about it for this very video. Until next time, well, this is Dr. Joe signing out.